everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this Netflix review. The fact that you're willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. I review absolutely everything that gets released on Netflix. So if you're ever curious about whether something is good, bad, or completely average, come to my channel and I'll let you know. Guys, this review is really exciting for me. This is actually the first time I've been given a pre-screening of a movie to review. So I'm actually being able to release this review a few days before it's available to the public. And that is just so freaking awesome, and I'm so happy I was given the privilege to do that. So guys, today we're going to be talking about Arlo the Alligator Boy, which is actually working as sort of a pilot to a 20-episode series that's going to follow it. And I have to say one thing, and this is going to let you know if this movie was good. I am looking forward to that series because this movie was brilliant. So before watching this movie, I did a bunch of research on it. And Ryan Krieger, who's the creator of Arlo, who designed them over 10 years ago, and of course there have been changes throughout the years, but he wanted to create a character that was so incredibly optimistic about life. And I think he did a great job with Arlo's character. He said he wanted to create an optimistic character and see what would happen if you took this great, larger-than-life, happy character and put him into a real, gritty world. Would the world change him? Or would he have a positive impact on the world? And you can actually see that woven throughout this entire film. The conflict between this good, optimistic character and this world that beats down on anything pure or innocent. And that was fun to watch. So what's this movie actually about? Let me break down the story for you. Arlo the Alligator Boy lives in a swamp with this woman that raised him as a kid. And now he wants to know, who am I? Where did I come from? And the movie is about him figuring out his origins. He finds out that his father is from New York City, and so he goes to find his father, and he goes on a bunch of misadventures, meets a bunch of new friends, and ultimately learns the value of friendship. But backing up this really engaging, fun, happy story is just beautiful animation. This movie is beautifully animated, and I really hope that the beauty, care, and attention to detail that was placed into the animation for this movie carries on with the series that follows this. I will say, as beautiful as the animation is though, I did have a few issues with some of the character designs. You're going to notice very quickly that the designs of the characters in this movie are all over the place. And for a lot of characters that works, but for some other characters, it's just almost too much. And my issue with the character designs also kind of feeds into the world building for this movie. I wanted this movie to explore the lore of this world a little bit more. The character designs in this movie give lots of the characters these animalistic or anamorphic characters. We get half alligators, half human. We get half fish, half human. And I want to know more about the world that this takes place in. What happens that we get these half hybrid characters? I know it's a small nitpick, but it's something that actually annoyed me a little bit more than I was expecting, especially when you get characters that are based in reality and they react to Arlo as if they've never met a hybrid creature before. They're afraid of Arlo, but you can see throughout this movie that there are a lot of hybrid characters, and I can see how this is almost a representation of the other. This is a great way of showing people that are so used to just being within their race, within their cultures, and within their denominations, that they're not exposed to other cultures, to other races, to other religions. And that's actually that's a message that's really good in this movie. Arlo's friends that he meets are all so incredibly different and unique. And I think this movie has a great meaning behind it. As someone that grew up in South Africa, especially in KZN South Africa, that grew up with friends of every single race, religion, and culture, I felt like this movie just really did a good job of showing diversity in a clever, unique way. We have a lot of characters here that have very real struggles. They're not treated as just cartoon characters, but rather in-depth characters that we can enjoy. I watched specific sequences in this movie multiple times, because there's actually a lot of nuance in this movie that I really enjoyed. There's a lot of thought-provoking moments. There's a lot of scenes in this movie that you can really analyze and break down character motivations. And that's a sign of a good movie. And this movie is also a musical. The soundtracks and the songs are actually a lot of fun in this movie. I found myself humming a few of them afterwards. There are some musical set pieces that are really emotional, like Oh, I didn't start crying, but my eyes were definitely tearing up emotional. It was a great movie. The soundtracks were incredibly deep, emotional, and powerful. And the vocals backing up these lyrics were great. And then to back up the great animation, the beautiful soundtracks, we then got a great style of comedy in this movie. The humor was intelligent. It wasn't potty humor, but it was, and I wouldn't say it was necessarily laugh out loud funny, but there were so many jokes that actually made me smile, that made me go, okay, that was funny. And so all of these elements, animation, soundtrack, humor, comedy, everything gelled together so well and made a really enjoyable movie. So in closing, the highlights of this movie, definitely the animation. The storytelling is great. The character development is engaging. The musical numbers are great. The humor is funny. Ultimately, the only real issue I had with this movie is the fact that the pacing can seem a little bit rushed. It is actually quite a short movie. At sitting at around 90 minutes in length, it's actually exactly an hour and a half long, pretty much. And so some of the greater moments, I feel they really could have explored more. But due to the time limits, I really feel like that overall, they handled the pacing quite well. And then another issue I had, as I mentioned earlier, was the world building and the character designs. But besides that, this was a phenomenal movie, and I cannot wait for the following series. Guys, thank you so much for watching this review. You guys are the best. You're awesome. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you guys in another review.